Hello, troopers, and welcome to the 501st Com Chat. I'm Chloe.
I'm well. Hope you guys are having a fun evening. It's almost Christmas. As you can see, we have a festive background around the border, not where we are, but
Yes.
as you can see.
Yes.
So, yes, we're back with another episode. Sorry, it's a little bit later than normal. But we've got Skeleton Crew episode 3 to talk about today. Another good episode.
I really enjoyed it.
Lots of like little details as well that if you're a die-hard Star Wars fan, you would have picked up on, and even just a film fan in general, there's stuff that you would have found for the first time.
Yeah.
We do have some new releases. We did have some more, but we couldn't. We just didn't get time to put them on the thing, so we'll show those next week.
Yeah.
But they are vintage collection, like Heir to the Empire, like original figures. So we got Pelion, Commander Pelion, Thrawn. We also have the old guy as well. I can't remember his name. So yeah, we'll you right there spinning around.
Yes, I'm on
Like
this chair, and it's like
Palpatine in his
just
chair.
automatically sort of spinning. I'm like,
It's okay. So yeah, so we'll show those next week.
yes.
Shall we get into it? Because we know it is late for you guys, unless you're joining us from America. And then if that's the case, good evening, good afternoon.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start us off. It was this one, wasn't it?
Yes.
There we go. So we have a Hot Toy, new one. We have
Plo Koon.
Plo Koon.
He does look very cool. Oh.
There he is.
There he is.
Very cool. I love his all like armor on his wrists and gauntlets. Very cool.
Very detailed as well.
It's a Hot Toy. You know it's going to be detailed, don't you? It's going to be. It's going to be there. So let's have a look at some of the other pictures of him. So here we have him in his like robes.
Jedi robes. Yeah.
Again, very cool. I think if you're building like a little Jedi collection, this is going to be one that you're going to want in it.
For sure.
Everyone likes Plo Koon. There we go. Look at the detail now. Look at the like markings on the mask as well. Like, look at that.
It's very
and the goggles as well. That's so cool.
Yep.
Yes. Like I said, this is probably going to be a very popular figure.
Yep.
So, also, this next one, I will admit, is very cool because someone's put the Plo Koon figure with the Commander Wolf Hot Toy. So you get to see what those two look like together.
Yep.
That's so cool. If you had like a little like Legion and their Jedi little collection, Plo and Wolf, Anakin and Rex, Kenobi and Cody, that'd be so cool, wouldn't it?
That would be cool.
I love it. Yes, I think this is going to be a very cool Hot Toy.
Yeah.
So that is it for the Hot Toy. We have some Black Series vintage, Black Series Legends figures.
So we have Leia in her Bouche outfit, and then Luke Skywalker in this like red armor, which I've never seen before, but I'm guessing it's from like a comic.
It's one of the Legends like novels, I believe, or like comics where you said looks.
Yeah.
There they are with the helmets on. I will say, I love the armor. He does look a little bit like a Power Ranger.
He does.
I'm a little bit partial to the Power Rangers, a bit of a fan here myself, but it's a bit weird not seeing Luke as like the red Skywalker Ranger, but you know, very cool. Again, it's nice to see that they're doing like Legends figures, isn't it, for a change?
Yeah.
Because we've had, we've had like so many come recently. Like we've got, they've been doing like Starkiller. They've been doing some of the like Clone Commander, I think, from like the Battlefront games and stuff like. It's
Yep.
just so many different like ones, so it's nice to get this variation.
Yeah.
And if you are a collector of all of them, this is probably going to be one that you want.
Yeah.
Also, I will just quickly read out the list, but basically we have like a leak of upcoming Black Series figures.
Yeah.
Now we don't have photos for these ones yet, but I'm going to tell you them. So we have some with names, and we also have some unnamed, which I am very excited for. So we have Holocom, Emperor Palpatine. We have Boba Fett, or the Book of Boba Fett character. We have Range Trooper from Andor. Now I have seen the leak of that one. They look like the snow troopers from Solo. We got a Director Krennic from Andor. We have Ezra Bridger, Night Trooper disguise. That's quite a cool one. We have Savage Opress, Clone Wars. Again, I think we've shown that one.
Yeah.
We have Jod, KB, Wim, SM33, and Wolfman. All from Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we've shown some of those.
Yeah, because I think the Neil ones, we've shown the
some
Neil
of them
one.
got leaked, yeah.
Especially KB. I think KB and Fern or something were the ones that were leaked. So we know that, you're going to have all the main cast from that.
Yeah.
Commander Cody, Revenge of the Sith.
Which is the one in like the Darth Vader bubble box.
Oh, that's so cool. That comes out next, because we had a look, didn't we, for like pre-orders. That one I think comes out like next March or April or something. So it's still a little bit of way off with that one.
Yeah.
But now this is the exciting bit. We have a load of unnamed ones, but we know what set they're coming in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So starting off, we have two different Gaming Greats 2-packs. So that could be like a Cal Kestis and Bode, or that could be Starkiller and
Juno Eclipse or something. Yeah. Or Proxy. Yeah.
So it's Gaming Greats. So you could even have like Revan and HK. I like that.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's two different Gaming Greats 2-packs, which quite interesting to see which ones they go for with that. Could be Battlefront, could
even be like the commanders, like Boss and Fixer or something.
Oh, could be. Now that would be quite cool, because if it was Gaming Greats and you did like Boss and Scorch, Fixer and Sev, that's going to be really cool. I like that. Good thinking. I like that. So then the other ones we have one Phantom Menace character. I'm not, again, all these ones we don't know who they're going to be, but these are the leaks. 2 Attack of the Clones figures. So it could be like a Padme in Geonosis gear, like as they like, I don't know if they reissue it or something. It could be, there's so many that it could be, there's so many characters.
Sure.
But then this is the interesting one. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 unnamed Revenge of the Sith figures coming.
Yeah.
Now you saw a picture earlier on a leak of something, and it was, so how like the Clone Wars little picture, there's like the clone helmet and it's like 20 years, whatever. You saw the leaked one for the Revenge of the Sith, didn't you? And you showed me it. So it's got like a Vader, and there's got like little Anakin and Obi-Wan dueling underneath.
Yep.
Oh, I want that. That'd be such a cool patch or little like pin. Oh, I want it.
Yep.
And I know.
I feel like that's going to be on all the Lego boxes and everything next year.
I also think you're going to see it a lot at Celebration next year in Japan.
For sure.
Oh, you guys.
Like the 40th for Return of the Jedi that we had.
Yeah,
They
literally.
had like t-shirts. They had so much merch.
I might have to order some stuff. Get it sent from Japan. But yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So 4 Revenge of the Sith figures.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was it last week we mentioned that there was like an Anakin sculpt head that we like showed? I don't know if we showed the leaks for it.
I'm not sure.
There was basically like a Revenge of the Sith head, wasn't there, of
Mm.
Anakin, and there was also a
I
Clone
don't think
Wars
we
one.
showed it though.
Oh wow! There we go. But we
So
so one of
possibly
those
an Anakin.
figures is probably going to be an Anakin, isn't it? Makes sense. Makes
And if there
good sense.
is, then we're getting
Yes, I think a lot of these figures coming out will be on our list.
We'll be spending next year.
Yes, and we're not even going to Celebration,
I
unfortunately,
know.
but we will be spending.
Yeah.
Maybe
the next Celebration, if it's in an area that we can fly to, that's not going to cost us too much.
I'm sure. Imagine if it was in America and we could meet some of our American listeners.
That'd be very cool.
That'd be so cool. We get to meet you guys as well.
Yes.
Because you guys are a big part of our fan base. I think we've got just as many fans in America as we do in the UK, which is very cool and I love to say.
Yes.
So shout out to all of you and to everyone else who listens in the world.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
We do. And obviously, if we do go to the next Celebration after Japan, like if any of you guys, whether you're from the UK or America or whatever, if you see us, then say
Come say
hello.
hi, please.
We'll give you like a sticker. We'll
Yes.
get a photo.
Yeah.
You know,
autographs.
even not just at Celebration, like if you see us at like a London Comic Con or something, like if we tell you guys that we're going, you know,
Yeah,
come see it.
because next year we are going to also try and go to some as well, and I think
Yeah.
with also it being like
I mean, this year we
25
only went
years.
to one.
Because it's going to be 25 years of Revenge of the Sith.
Mm.
I feel like at some of these
Lot
other
of
cons,
clones.
they might do some like special guests at like London Comic Con and stuff like that.
That'd be
You know, Padme.
Mm.
I don't think so, but
No, I don't. think
you
so.
never know. She might make an appearance. If she does, oh my god. So, as you know, we do our Mount Rushmore each
On our
week
TikTok.
on our TikTok and
And
Instagram. This one is a very, very easy one. We have done
Jedi.
This is, I doubt there's going to be any complaints with this one. If there is,
I feel like there might be.
I doubt it. Because I feel like everyone.
Because there was one particular character that I suggested, and you were like, oh, I don't know if she's the GOAT of the Jedi, you know? But a lot of people love her.
Okay. Well, I think we'll definitely give her a mention on the
Yes.
honourable mention. Starting off strong. Everyone's choice. Anakin has to be on the Mount Rushmore of Jedi
Yes,
because
in our opinion.
yes, again, in our opinion,
Most people's
Yes.
opinion. Because I know a lot of people think that he's a bit whiny and stuff, but honestly, he's my favourite character in all of Star Wars. I said it. And I disagree with everyone that says no to this.
I mean, again, like you just look at like how powerful he is, and you know, like
He is the chosen one.
Yeah.
Like, he's just.
and look what he's doing as well in the World Between Worlds. He's coming
Yes.
back and teaching, you know, like in that way.
And also, like, the whole of the Skywalker saga, like,
He's
from
him.
episode 1 all the way up to the sequels, like, it's all about Anakin
So
and his family.
Anakin number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, probably the most what people consider the perfect Jedi.
Mhm.
Literally, like the way, if you want to be a Jedi, this is how you should be. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
Hello there.
We meet again at last.
It's got to be.
Yes.
Like I said, people put this guy as the perfect embodiment of a Jedi.
Yeah.
They call him the perfect Jedi
Mm-hmm.
because of how, you know, like loyal he is to the Order,
Mm-hmm.
but like how good he is within it, and you know, he never faltered from his belief, you know.
Yeah.
Even when everything bad happened to him, he continued to
Yeah.
be good.
And also everything that happened with Satine as well. He never sort of broke the Jedi code. Like, he still continued to be loyal to the Jedi, even though, you know, he did love her. But she was like, no, I don't want you to leave the Order for me and all this. But
He was close. He was
yes,
close. But yeah, he's got to be on here.
we do love Obi-Wan,
Yep.
and a lot of people call him Space Jesus.
I can see why.
Yes.
Luke Skywalker. Some people consider him the greatest Jedi ever.
Mhm.
Some people say he's the most powerful Jedi ever.
Mhm.
You know, like more powerful than Anakin, and you know, obviously he did have his flaws, but you know, this guy is basically the hero of Star Wars, really, isn't it?
Mhm.
You know, almost a perfect hero.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he does have his fault in the sequels. You know, no one's perfect, but especially that hallway scene in the Mando as well.
Yeah.
That is so cool, and I'm so glad we got to see Luke like that.
Yeah.
Because everyone just assumed he was this person, like how good he was, but no.
Yeah.
So good. Luke, gotta be on there.
Mhm.
And then for me,
And perhaps the most sort of feared person at one point, because of, like, you know, how Moff Gideon reacted to him walking through that door. Like, everyone in the Empire knew that he was in a room with Palpatine and Vader, and he was the only one that walked out alive.
and he destroyed 2 Death Stars.
Yes.
Well, he destroyed one, and then the other one got destroyed, and he still
And
survived.
he survived a Wampa attack, guys, as well.
That reminds me. I have a funny photo to show you next episode.
Next episode, okay.
Do you know the one?
No.
We saw a Wampa in Primark. Very dangerous, very fierce.
Please don't.
Yes, we have to show the Wampa.
No, please don't. No.
We do. You got to see the Wampa.
No.
So moving on. This was the one that you at first were a bit like, I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm. Not a case of that I don't love him. It's just, yeah. So we have Yoda as our fourth and final Mount Rushmore head.
The reason why I've gone for Yoda is because he's literally like, he's like the greatest Jedi ever.
Yeah.
Like, was with the Order during the like High Republic. He was with the Republic. He survived after Order 66. You know, he's one of the wisest, if not the wisest Jedi. Mm-hmm. He is the Grand Master Jedi for a reason. You know what I mean?
He was part of the High Republic as well.
I know. I just think
he's old. He's wise, and most likely Grogu's dad.
Oh, breaking news! Breaking news! You hear it here first. Chloe confirms Yoda is Grogu's dad. And I'm probably going to confirm that Yaddle is his mum. But can't confirm or deny.
It's just a theory.
It's just.
But yeah, I mean, we have a few honorable mentions, and I was a bit unsure whether to put like her here or, you know. But we do really like Yoda, and in terms of the most like powerful, the most well-known like Jedi that have done the most for Jedi, like Order, we had to pick these four because, you know, Yoda's been around.
Like I said,
since the High
he's
Republic.
Literally the Jedi Grand Master.
Yeah.
You know, and I know there has been other Grand Masters like Luke technically becomes a Jedi Grand Master. But again, he's
Yeah.
like the only one. Yoda is a Grand Master during the time of Anakin, Kenobi, Mace Windu, Plo Koon,
Yep.
all these iconic ones, including, he even becomes a Grand Master during like High Republic. Like,
Yep. And then, of course, you got Luke, who is like probably the most. Well, he is the most powerful Jedi during the like originals. Obviously, you've got old Kenobi, but after he passes, the most powerful alive Jedi, I would say without a doubt, is Luke. You know, a lot of people might say, "Oh, what about Cal Kestis and all this?" But like Luke, he's sort of like the next chosen one, isn't he?
yeah, basically. And then obviously
And
Kenobi,
then
perfect.
Kenobi, Anakin
Kenobi's the perfect embodiment of a Jedi,
during the prequels, amazing.
and obviously Anakin, the chosen one. Go.
Yeah. You got any problem, you go to Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah.
You know, they led clone armies during the prequels, so I don't think you can really get much better than them.
No. So we break down Skeleton Crew for the fine people today.
Should we say about some honorable mentions?
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot about the honorable mentions.
So one that I really wanted to put on the list was Ahsoka. And I know she is loved by many, many fans. But also in terms of like the most powerful like goat Jedi, I don't know if I would put her as like number 5 maybe, but we can only narrow it down to 4. So
I mean, yeah,
it's
I
one
think
really
she's just
wanted to
missed
put,
out. I know.
but
I think she just
don't know.
missed out. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at, she's basically the embodiment of the daughter, the Mortis God. She's survived. She left it, but then again, she left the Order, and technically was no longer a Jedi until she sort of refound herself with Sabine, teaching Sabine after the clone.
Yeah,
So-
that's another thing I thought as well. Is like, does she class as a Jedi because she did leave the Order?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think in this Ahsoka series that we've seen though, she has sort of when she became Ahsoka White, I was like, I think that's her becoming a Jedi again.
Yeah.
So she is technically a Jedi, but
Yeah.
it was a hard one, wasn't it? There was other people like Plo Koon. There was people like Mace Windu, considered the greatest fighter in the Jedi, if not the greatest, one of the greatest Jedi fighters during the prequel eras. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's
That's an honourable mention.
a lot of people from the High Republic as well.
Oh, Stellan Geos, Elzar Man. There's so many.
There were so
Vanessa.
many people in the Acolyte that I was like, wow, they are really good.
Yes.
But this is just our list, and feel free to comment your lists or whether you agree or disagree with us.
Yeah. Let us know. We want to know.
Who would you put as your top 4 GOAT Mount Rushmore Jedi?
Yeah. And next week we're probably going to do Sith.
Yes.
And there's a lot of names floating about already in there.
Yes.
I reckon I've got 3 out of the 4 already.
Yeah.
I think that you'll be like, yeah, I agree with.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4.
Okay. We'll be doing that, and we'll post that on our Instagram and TikTok within a few days.
Yeah. So
you
keep an
guys
eye
can
out
see
for that.
and then we'll talk about that next episode.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, Skeleton Crew episode 3. Da, da, da.
I do love, by the way, the start of the intro with the little chimey version of of the Star Wars sort of Skeleton Crew theme. It's really sort of magical, isn't it? It has that feel of this is not what this isn't your Clone Wars
No.
brutal show. This is a bit more chilled, but there's still it's still literal Star Wars.
Yeah.
So we start the show with scenes on Atatin,
Mhm.
So we see like the city skyline, but it's all like there's no like cars going around, so it's clearly like early morning, isn't it?
Mhm.
And then we get two sort of back-to-back shots of this one lone security droid walking through the streets, and then walking up the road to Fern's mum's house in the nice like cul-de-sac like thing.
Yep.
And then it cuts inside, and we
Mhm.
see that the parents of the missing kids have sort of all gathered.
So we have Nil's parents, KB's parents,
Neil's mum's there.
Yeah.
His dad's not there, but
and
his
then
mum.
Fern's mum, of course.
And we see KB's two mums.
Mhm.
And they do say something quite interesting though, because they say about ever since she sort of left, they've not been connected to her like life monitor or something.
Yep.
So it's a bit like clearly they can keep an eye on where she is because of the cybernetics that she's got.
Mhm.
Um,
But obviously, her being outside of the
barrier.
barrier, they can't read it.
And we also do see how nice and friendly Neil's mum is. She offers Wynn's dad like a drink, and
Yeah.
he's like, "It's all right." And then obviously Fern's mum's like, I used to sneak away.
Yeah.
The security droids are gonna bring them back. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, don't panic. And then this droid wanders in
Mhm.
and is like, your kids have left the barrier with on a unidentified ship. That they've committed a violation, sort of thing.
Yeah, because they've exceeded the barrier.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to leave. And then he mentions about like the supervisor will not be taking action or something like that.
Yeah, and they're like,
And they're like, whoa, and they all start getting a bit carried away. And they're like, are they going to contact? Is the supervisor going to contact the Republic? And he's like,
no, we can't risk any form of communication outside of the barrier. And they're like, what? These are our kids and all this.
yeah, and Fern's mum's like, I petition an immediate meeting with the supervisor. And you get this really cute. I love this little droid. He like his hands go like that. And he's
It's like, calm down,
calm down, everyone, calm down. It's quite cute. I give it that.
Yeah.
And then we sort of get like the Skeleton Crew logo.
Yeah.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the kids back on, what was it, Port Haven?
Yeah.
On the obviously the prison comet that they've turned into, and we see like Jod sort of and the kids escape, and KB is sort of last, and Fern's like, come on, she's like, I can't, they'll see me. So then Jod's like, the famous Jedi little trick that we see
make a
them
noise
do,
and the people will run.
and they're like, and then the guards are like, oh. And then obviously
you
KB.
do see him sort of like pick up like a rock or something and throw it so it makes a noise.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
I've definitely seen something.
No. Because this is what he does here. He does the Force trick where he like. So he uses the Force. He doesn't chuck a rock. He uses the Force.
I thought he lifted up something and threw it.
No.
So it made a sound and then anyway.
So when you watch it as well,
we'll watch it again. And we'll confirm
he does
next
what
week.
like I think Qui-Gon does it in Phantom Menace. I think he's like he basically creates a knock on like a cage down thing. Anyway, so they go like that. I thought you would have noticed that, but okay, that's fine.
I swear I've seen something.
No, because he's like.
Okay, I'm gonna rewatch it after this.
And then.
Just to check.
But then.
Because I might be wrong.
Okay. Well, I do love this bit as well because the kids are like very questioning, apart from like Wim and Neil, about his intentions, and they're like, if you had the Force, why didn't you escape until now? And he's like, what's the point of me escaping if I didn't have a ship to escape on?
Yeah.
I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like that's you know, to all those people that are like, oh, he could have escaped at any time. It's like, well, he couldn't. He didn't have a ship to get away on. Like, and then he like messes with the barrier, and they were like, "How did you do that?" And he's like, "Training, like practice or something."
Yeah.
You know. And again, Neil and Wim are like, "Wow, he's a Jedi. He's so cool." And Fern and KB are very like skeptical.
Yeah.
And we see him like tell the kids like, "Wait against this wall." Goes off, and he's like, Wim's like, he's a Jedi. They're like the protectors and justice in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And then you just hear the like,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, he's just beating a guy up for the blaster.
Yes.
Which I thought was quite funny. That was quite clever.
But he's pretty much quoting Obi-Wan Kenobi's lines from episode 4, which he tells Luke, you know, Jedi are the protectors.
The Jedi were the
peace in
protectors of peace and justice in the galaxy.
So he's basically, you know, he's read all these books on his Jedi, and he's like, yeah.
But
it's basically the same sort of quote.
But then like they go to move, and he's like, wait.
Yeah.
And this like ball, like Dr. Ball.
Oh, I think it's KB that notices. She's like, wait. And then Fern says something like, so I suppose you got the Force too.
Oh, no, that's it. So the ball, they go, and then KB's like, wait. And then the ball that looks like the interrogation ball from A New Hope sounds like a probe droid, and the like ball like like hovers past. And Fern then wittily says like, "Oh, KB must have the Force too," and then Jod being Jod is like, "The Force flows through us all."
Yeah,
it's like
it
does, but the way that he says it's very
like,
not sure about that. And then sort of we see the kids like sneak out and get back aboard the ship. Also, here we have some Jawas.
Yeah.
Nice to see some Jawas making
Jawa juice, maybe.
Maybe they got some Jawa juice. Fine Jawa juice there. But it's nice to see a bit of Jawa now and again.
Yeah.
There's so many species in this show. It would take me hours to name them all that we've seen. Yeah. But nice little shout out.
Yeah.
So we see them get on back in like one of the little ferry plastic transporter ship things.
Yeah.
And the ferryman is like taking them back to the ship.
Someone did point out that it is another similarity to ET, where it's like a sort of clear tube that they're passing to like get from one place to another. I know it's obviously a lot different, but there is that sort of similarity there.
Yeah. Also, so last week we mentioned that the ferryman species is a Tisk. Teak. From it's the same species from the Ewoks film show thing.
Yep.
That isn't canon, but that species is now technically canon, you know.
Yeah.
But so they look completely different to the film, but it is the same. And it was also confirmed. This is so cool. So cool. The Teak is voiced by Sam Witwer.
Which, if you don't know Sam Witwer,
add him to the list of Starkiller, Darth Maul, and Teak the Ferryman.
Yes.
He's got a great resume.
Probably many other.
The Sun.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I'm spinning.
Oh my God. You're right. It's like Palpatine having too much fun in this chair. But yeah, so Sam Witwer is Teak the Ferryman. I think that's really funny.
Very cool.
And there's also a really cute little blink and you miss it moment where Jod puts the blaster like down on the bench next to Neil.
Yeah.
Comes to the front of the like little ferry ship, and you can see Neil like pick up the blaster, and he's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, don't want to touch that. No. He's like, no. And I love that. That's just so Neil.
Yeah. He
Neil's
just picks up like, what's this? And then
Oh,
it's like,
and
oh no. I shouldn't
also,
touch
yeah,
it.
before they get in the little ferry bit,
Mhm.
we see them like walking through the through the Port Haven.
Mhm.
But if you notice, it's shot from like the same level as
Mhm.
Neil, so everyone is like all the adults are like above you, and
Yeah.
that's a very like Spielberg thing, wasn't it?
Mm.
And Neil just sort of stops and freezes. He's like, "Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on."
Oh, okay. And then Jod sort of comes
Because
back
he's like,
and he's
"Come
like,
on."
come here.
Now this is a really cool thing. So when the kids go back onto the ship, they're all ready to go.
Yeah.
But then they're like, "We're not leaving
Where's
without,"
SM-33?
and they're like, "We ain't leaving without him." And they're like, "We'll go back and get him." And Jod's like, "No."
He's like, he's just a droid. And they're like, yeah, but you're a Jedi. You don't leave anyone behind.
And he's like, "That's not a Jedi thing that we said that they say."
Yeah.
So it's again a little bit of a nod to that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he finally's like, "Right, I'll go get the droid then."
Yeah. He's
So-
like, you guys stay here where it's safe.
So he goes back to Port Haven, and then we see there's a bit of a commotion because they're like, "Captain Sivo has escaped from the brig.
Mhm.
Find him." So it is now confirmed officially.
That he is.
Jod is Captain Sivo from episode 1
Yeah.
at the beginning. He then goes to this little droid area, like workshop,
Mhm.
and we see him like activate a droid that we see in the back of the Jawas.
Mhm.
He's like, "I am the," and then Jod's like turns him off.
Yeah. He's like, nope.
And then there's this other one. He's like, "I must save the prince."
Yep.
"I must save the prince. He is in danger." I thought that was also quite funny.
Mhm.
And then my favourite one, but a little bit sad, is there's a B1 battle droid just sort of sat there, and he's like
Mhm.
turns him on,
Like,
and then he's
did
like,
we win?
"Did we win?" And he just
And he's like,
disintegrates.
"Oh."
I'm like, no. I do feel a bit sad seeing that, but it was also
Yeah.
nice to see it in live action. Like,
Yeah. And then he does find SM-33. He
Yes.
turns him on. He's like, SM-33? And he's like, who's asking? And he's like, I'll take that as a yes then.
turns him back off and sort of puts him on this like little like trolley. But then he gets interrupted by this alien. He's like, Captain Sivo. So it turns out this guy obviously knows him. Now, I've just seen, I think I had a name. So his species and this guy is an Ishitib.
Huh?
So this is one of the ones that, like, one of them lost their eye.
Yeah, one of them was shot in the eye,
Yeah.
didn't they?
It's not the same one, but it's
It's the same species.
And I think his name's Dengar Pravis, like Dengar Pravis, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's all shot in one take of like him moving. They have this little conversation, but he is voiced by a famous actor. So this is his most famous character on the left. Do you know who it is?
It's Doc Ock from Spider-Man.
Yes.
But I don't know his actual name.
Alfred Molina. So he was obviously, like you said, Doc Ock from the Spider-Man, like
The Tobey Maguire film.
second one. And he worked with John Watts, who was the director of this show. So obviously, he has got like a connection.
Yeah.
And his most famous line is obviously, "Hello, Peter." But yeah, he does the voice of this Ishitib, and he's like, "Oh well, I'm gonna have to get security, and we're not gonna be having that, are we?"
No.
So next up, we go back to like the ship, and the kids are basically having a vote, being like, should we just fly off and leave Jod, or like, shall we wait for him?
Yeah.
And Neil and Wim are like, well, he's a Jedi, we need him. And they also have this conversation about how did he make the keys float then?
Yeah.
And then Fern's like,
Magnets.
magnets, hydrolift, string.
Yeah.
And we also see this really cute bit of Neil, and he's got like a stick, and he's like,
Yeah, and he's trying to make it float.
I love Neil. I think he's like probably the best character so far.
Yeah.
But he's just like gets the stick, and he's like. So they're all having this debate about like, I vote for we save him.
Yeah.
I'd vote we don't, sort of thing.
I think we
And then
definitely need
in the back, yeah, we might have to get the Neil Funko. But then in the background, through the visor, you can see like some of the ferry pods are like shooting at one, and then Neil notices and he's like, "Look!" And obviously he sees that Jod is coming back with SM-33 and obviously in the pod.
Yeah.
And they sort of board the ship, and they're like, "We gotta go like now." So Jod comes back, and he like goes to leave, and he's like, "Watch this," and they're still connected to the fuel line. He's like, "Bugger."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna try and snap it."
And then it doesn't work, and then he's like, "That's one well-made fuel line."
Yeah.
And then he basically comes up with this idea, or that we see Brutus as well being like, "Arm the cannons!" Like,
yeah,
he's trying to escape. He's on the fuel line. Don't let him go. Whatever. So then he basically does this like little maneuver where he like moves round like a couple of ships, and then he's like trying to pull away. Yeah. So he's trying to like pull away, and all these sort of ships like clump together from this line that's got now tangled.
Yeah.
And as they're like trying to pull away, like the cannons are like aiming at the ship, and you're like, "No, about to blow."
Yeah.
And then we see he comes up like right at the last second. He's like, "Oh, hyperspace," and KB's like, "Isn't it dangerous to jump to hyperspace while still attached to something?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Don't care."
Yeah.
Goes flying. Also, forgot to mention as well, when when Jod sees the Onyx Cinder for the first time,
Yeah.
it's got like dirt and like stink almost like coming from
where
it.
it's been on at ends for so long. Right?
But it was like buried basically. You know, so I think it's a really neat little detail that you can still see mud like floating around it and all that.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, they jump to hyperspace in the like nick of time, and the fuel line comes like ricocheting back.
Yeah.
And like smacks onto the port, knocking out some pirates, causing quite a bit of damage as well.
Yeah.
There is also, I don't know if we got it in these photos, but there is actually some notable ships in this particular scene with all the ships.
Yeah.
So there is in the background, we can sort of see one here. Looks a bit like the Razor Crest. It's not, but looks like it. That looks a bit like the bloke from Mando season 3's ship.
I'm pretty sure that's him.
Well, he did die, and the ship did blow up over on the planet, but
okay,
it looks very similar. There's also a really cool little nod to the original Tantive 4, which was going to be
the Millennium Falcon.
It was going to be the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
But then the shape of it changed, and basically it became the idea for the Tantive 4. But I'm so glad that they've made that now a reality. And also we see one of the Star Tour T1000 shuttles with like the red on it. And I think that's a really cool little nod. Yep. You know, there is a lot of Star Tour references.
Hondo Naka's ship as well. I know we mentioned that in the previous episode, but
I would love to see Hondo in this show, mind.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be excited because it's like
this is like the pirate show.
This is a show you could definitely see Hondo and Naka turning up in.
Yeah.
Whereas like you wouldn't expect to see Luke Skywalker or the man, like Mando in this, but like Hondo.
Mm.
If you're gonna bring him into live action, this is where you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, they jump off to hyperspace. They damage the port, and Jod is sort of. I love this bit because they wake up SM-33, and he like comes back and he's like, "Intruder aboard," and they're like, "Oh, that's Jod. He's a Jedi. He helped us escape Anu," and he's like, "Jedi?"
Yeah.
Like he almost like straight away he's like, "No way."
Yeah.
And then Jod is like eating some sort of blue porridge.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously a bit of a mixture of blue milk and something. And he comes over and in front of the kids, he's just like eating it. And Neil was just there going, like rubbing his tummy,
belly.
looking at it. It's like, why is he so emotive?
Yeah.
He's so cool. And then he's like, "Oh, there's plenty in the pot."
Yeah.
And all the kids are like, "Mine." So they go running over.
Yeah.
So Jod then goes and has a look around the ship.
Mm-hmm.
He's like eyeing up like a jacket. He finds like a boot and he's like sizing it up.
Yep.
And then he comes across the skeleton with like the knife
Mm-hmm.
in him. And he pulls it out and it makes a like,
Yeah.
almost like a spirit, like a ghosty.
Mm.
Oh, that's quite cool though. Little nod though, isn't it, to like ghosts and
Spooky.
so he does that, and then SM-33 is like looking for something,
Yeah.
and Jedi. I love the way that Nick Frost delivers the word Jedi. He says it so well. Nick Frost as SM-33 is really good, by the way.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant. I love it.
I do love his voice.
And he's like, because we also see as well, like Jod sees him as like a droid, and he's just like, "Oh, clean up around here," and he's like, "Who are you to give orders?"
Mm-hmm.
And sort of SM-33 like straightens himself and is like, "Yeah,
And he
don't
starts
mess with
like
it." Well, yeah, he
tapping.
like stands and he's like, "Good
Yeah.
thing," and then he's like, "Where are these kids really from?" Atin. And then SM-33 is like, "I'll tell you what I know. They're from somewhere."
Yeah.
It's like,
And then he just says, "I," and walks
and
off.
then he's like something like, "I'll tell you something. They're from somewhere." And he's like, "I," walks off, and then he comes back and he's like, "I." I love SM-33. He's great. So then obviously we see them being like, "Where are we going?" And Jod's like, "Going to see a friend.
Mhm.
She's gonna help you get home," sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Fern's like, he's like, you guys should get some sleep. Like, we're not gonna be there for like a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
And Fern's like, "I'm not tired," and it literally cuts to her like,
Yeah.
like passed out on a bed. Then we see like two hammocks, and we've got like Wim and Fern, and no, sorry, Wim and Neil makes a little like elephant like
Yeah.
noise in his sleep, which is very cute.
Yes.
Another little detail I noticed.
Yeah.
So, in like pirate ships and that, the like captain's quarter, you've got the like angled windows at the back, and then obviously like the beds and that. With this ship, the back has the like angled windows looking into hyperspace, so it's got that very like pirate ship feel. Like they got people staying and sleeping in hammocks.
Yeah.
It's so cool how it's pirates but in space.
Yeah.
I love it. And we see like KB just sort of like chilling, and he's like, "Do you ever sleep?" And she's like, "You're not a Jedi," or like, and he's like, "I have calculated." She's like, "I have calculated that you're not a Jedi," or something. He's like, "Not everything in the galaxy can be calculated." Because I was like, very true, can't be. And she's like, he's like, "You don't trust me," or something. And she's like,
No,
not yet. He's like, "Look, we're still a couple of hours away. Get some sleep."
Yeah.
And then they approach this like moon, like against this nice planet, and we get the like really like traditional like 60s sci-fi like alien like noise of like whoa, like music, you know, like I can't remember what the instrument is, but it's very like 60s like Space 99 like 70s and all that like whoa, whoa, like very like that. And then they land, and we see like Wim is like sat on like a transporter like crane. He's like
Yeah.
and Neil's like controlling him, and John's just like, stop it, stop it, that's a crane, come on. And then KB's like, I'm cold. And John's like, well, you warm up when you get walking. So they go on a little hike. I love this picture, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone said he's
very easy.
Yeah. And again, I think it's all like symbolism, like Amberlin, like look, you know, going across the moon, and but we see them.
I mean,
walking
obviously
across.
in ET it's bikes, but you know,
It's the same sort of concept, isn't it?
yeah.
And then we see like someone is watching them from like cameras, and we can hear she's chatting to someone, being like, "It's definitely him. He's got children. They must have been kidnapped. Get here as quick as you can. I'll stall him."
Yeah.
And he's like, he stops to the kids. He's like, this person, I think they will stab us in the back. And he was like, he's like, not literally.
Yeah.
But like,
he's like, you'll know when you're older.
Yeah, I love that bit. So then he goes to the door, knocks on it, and we get the like, Ujaja Blinky. Like, I come out, and then like two others come out as well. And it's this voice being like, Crimson Jack.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's got a new nickname. He's like, Crimson Jack. He's like, I didn't think you would ever come back here. And he's like, I said I would come back here when I got something worth your time or something.
Yeah.
He's like, however, she's like, however could I turn that down?
Yeah.
And then like the door like, like opens, and they go on inside, and we meet Kim. Now this isn't spelled Kim. This has got a weird pronunciation. It's like KHY apostrophe MM.
Yeah.
So it's like Kim.
Yeah.
But it's Kim. And she's like a cross of an owl and a cat.
Yeah.
She's quite funny though. She's quite cute. And she's also got a Lobot like headpiece, a little bit like KB. Also, I just remembered as well, I forgot to mention this, when the parents are panicking about the kids, KB's mums mention that she's got like a medical condition or something. Like she's got a medical, so it could be something to do with her headpiece.
Yeah. So
that I think is going to be a part of the story going forward. So we'll see about that. But then, Jod basically says to Kim, I'm trying to get these kids home. Because they're like, he saved us. He didn't kidnap us.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm trying to get him home to Atin. And she's like, Atin. And he's like,
what?
Yeah, Atin. So she's like, what? So she flies off, goes and gets this like scroll. And she starts talking about how
the kid's like, is this a map? And she's like, no. She's like, there will be no map between here and
she basically gives the story of how there were these 9 planets during the Old Republic, which is like Revan sort of Old Republic. Can you imagine if they brought Revan into this? It would be such a weird way to introduce him if they had it as like a mural of like, or they
Mm.
mentioned him by name, like, oh, Atatin was around during the time of the Great Revan or something.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Ah,
What? Hey,
that would be.
don't do this to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she brings up this map, and we see like the art of the like sort of obviously what looks to be like the founding people of this special secret 9 planets.
It looks quite similar to the art on Fern's mum's wall.
Yes, I think it is obviously connected.
Yeah.
Because also we do get a bit that we forgot to mention where the kids are talking about like, why is everyone after at it all of a sudden? It's boring. There's nothing there. And Neil's like, well, what do our parents do? They analyze stuff, but we're like, we don't actually know what they're analyzing, what they're doing.
Yeah.
So clearly there is some sort of mystery with this place. But so Kim basically mentions about how there was these 9 planets, all of them were said to have been destroyed, apart from Aten, which apparently had like great mineral wealth or something like.
Yeah.
But obviously it's lost. And then they're like, well, how do we find it? And then Jod realizes that the kids are the map because they can obviously talk about the planet. So then Kim starts asking like, what's your planet like? What do you see? And Neil's like, well, there's like the green swirls, baryons. He's like, nebula gases.
Yeah.
Puts it into like a little computer here, and she's like, basically like trying to narrow down the planet and where everything would be.
Yeah.
And then she notices the patch on Fern's jacket. Yeah. And she's like, what's that? That's important. Scans it. And then it's like deciphers the two things, and it's like Old Republic in Arabesh. It's like Old Republic like emblem or something like. So we are talking Old Republic, which is really cool. So obviously that's that. Then we have like, as sort of Jod's becoming a little bit more like, you're not telling me the whole truth here, Kim. She's like, I wouldn't betray you, Jack. And he like turns up the radio, and there's some people being like, we're on our way, we're almost there.
Yeah.
He's like, sort us out.
Yeah.
So then Kim and Jack basically have like a little fight. She's like, don't trust him. But then the coordinates come up like bing on this little like chip drive. So he takes it, shoots the computer, but we get a brief like look at this computer, and someone obviously did the Arabesh to what it says. So it basically says nav bank, and then it's a load of planets, but it's like famous Star Wars planets. So from top to bottom it says Mustafar, Mandalore, Tatooine, Hoth, Camino, Bespin, Coruscant, and Corellia. So, well, yeah, like, you know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think the kids are gonna be heading off to Tatooine or Camino, but it's a way of like little nod of being like,
it's just like an Easter egg because it's in Orabesh, and it's like the hardcore fans, they know they're gonna decipher it.
Yeah, of course.
And like it's gonna mean something, and you know all those planets are very well known in Star Wars.
And then this is where we're wrong. And next episode they go to Mustafar.
Yeah,
it's like
it gave them the wrong planet.
Yeah, like, oh my god, Vader's done wrong. But yeah, so basically the kids, KB like stays and is like to Kim like, you okay? Because obviously they've got like the same sort of like headpiece. So KB has a bit of a soft spot, I think, for Kim. She's like, I'm okay, don't worry, but what are you gonna do? She's like, well, I'm gonna go with them. She's like, well, she was like, get the whole truth. If you ever need me, call me. Obviously, these people with the like Lobot computers.
Call me, no matter where you
I
are,
like
no
it, I
matter
like
how.
But obviously, they must have some sort of communication thing because like
Yeah.
somehow she'll be able to connect
Yeah.
to them. So they get back to the ship, and the kids are now like stopping Jod getting on the ship because the X-wings are now like we see Resistance X-wings. Well, New Republic X-wings.
Yeah.
So they're like the new shape,
Mm-hmm.
but they got like blue squadron on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're the New Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see the so we have this bit where like KB like pushes Jod and it's like, tell us. And he's like, I'm just all right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just lost like you. And then Wim's like, you're not a Jedi? And he's like,
I never said
I never said I was. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
And then he's like, come on, we gotta go. And then KB's like somehow connected to the intercom of the ship. And it's like, hey, we're over here. And he's like, all right, stop. And then SM-33's like stood on the ramp and Fern's like, SM-33. And he's like, hi, Captain. And he's like got like a blowtorch in his hand. He's like, is this Jedi giving you any trouble? And he basically is like, look, I will help you get home. Maybe I'll get a little reward, but I'll do the right thing. And they're like, no, you work for us now, sort of thing. He's like,
this is the deal. You're working with us or you're staying here.
it's like, fine. Okay. So they basically get on board, head to the ship. SM-33 goes to like restore like the life stuff. What was it, like life cycle or something? Like, he goes off to fix that. So they all go to the cockpit and they take off and they get this really cool shot of like the X-wings like noticing and they're like there.
Yeah.
Actually, saying that now, they do look like the old X-wings actually instead of the new ones.
It is during the New Republic era though, so
well, all the other X-wings in the Mando verse, so we say, have been old X-wings. I reckon they're old ones actually. I might be wrong, but I think they're old ones. But yeah, so they sort of like turn and chase. Jod is then like, right, Neil, you're gonna fly. And everyone's like, Neil?
Yeah.
Neil? And he's like, oh, okay.
Like, I don't know how to fly.
So he's like, just basically like evade. He's like, KB's going to be working on the like sort of tech, like warp drive sort of thing.
Yeah.
So she's like the sort of engineer now. He takes then Fern and Wim. He's like, right, come with me. And he basically like activates the like gunner turrets, which is very cool. And Fern's like, you don't tell me what to do, I'm the captain. And he's like, okay, captain,
yeah,
get in.
Yeah.
So she gets in there and then he does the same for Wim. And like when Wim sees the thing come down, he's like "Ee." He's like any of us would be if all of that. We're like getting in that cockpit, like in that gunner pilot suit. Like,
I mean, these are books that he's read and he's like living out his
adventure,
like dream. Like it's like if any of us went to Galaxy's Edge and it's like, right, you're gonna fly the Millennium Falcon. Like, it's just so cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that. And then they sort of like, he's like, hold them back, like just for as long as you can. So they then start shooting at the X-wings, not to like hit them,
no,
but to like just be like stopping them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Wim like glances, like clips like one of the X-wings, like tiny. He's like, I got him. And then Fern's like, that was my shot.
Yeah.
Not yours. And then like Jod goes back and he does this really cool maneuver. Also, we do see as well the X-wing fire like an ion torpedo, and it hits one of the engines. Then it's like, psh, psh, psh.
Yeah.
But we do see this really cool thing where Jod goes back to the cockpit, takes over control, dives down and
Mhm.
basically uses the like moon dust
Mhm.
to like sort of sand out the vision of the X-wings.
Yeah.
And then as the like sun comes over the horizon, he's like
Yep.
sends it right up, and then they're like, hit it,
Zoom.
jump to
Into
hyperspace.
hyperspace.
Very cool. Very cool little action scene there. Love it.
Love
Seeing
it.
the X-wings as well was really cool.
Yeah.
X-wings. But then we see like the X-wings like land at Kim's place,
Mhm.
and she comes out and she's like, "What are you doing? You let him get away."
Yeah.
And the guy, the like cockpit opens, and the guy who's apparently called Commander Kent
Mhm.
says it was too risky,
There's a
especially with the
chance.
kids on board. Like, and he was like, "Where are they going anyway?" And then we get this really weird, like, comment by Kim, where she's like, "If I told you where, you wouldn't believe me." It's like, and then it's that sort of whimsical music, like,
Yeah.
and it's like, where the hell are they going? Like, she's like,
Mhm.
you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Mhm.
So that's to a New Republic person. So
Yeah.
there's no way that they're going to like Mustafa or Kamino or something like that.
No.
But like, it's just funny. Like, why is it so ominous?
Yeah.
And then we end the episode. We
Mhm.
got to wait till next week.
I know.
I generally, as well, don't have a clue what is going to happen next. Like,
No.
every episode, I have no idea what is going to happen.
No.
I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know where they're going to end up. It's a mystery.
I don't know either.
But yeah, what do you think of the episode?
I thought it was really good.
So-
I really enjoyed it. Like there's been so much more action in this one episode alone.
And I think it's
Compared
just
to
going to keep
next.
building as well. And
Yeah.
the characters and the kids are great in this.
Yeah.
Neil's becoming a bit of a favorite.
Mhm.
He's become sort of my favorite at the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like them all, and I know a lot of people have said like, we don't need Jod in the show. Like, we're not too worried about what happens to him, which I get because the kids are the stars here.
Mhm.
But like Kim, I thought was really cool and eccentric, but Neil, and he's just so animated as well, which is what I
Yeah.
love when he's like,
Yeah.
and then when he picks up the blast and he's like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
He's so cool. I know.
He's cute.
Yeah, that's it for episode 3. Gotta wait till next week now.
I know.
There's again, this is the thing about it, because of how the show is going, there is literally no way for me to be like, right, this is what's going to happen next episode.
No.
We're going to see this, we're going to see that.
Because we literally have no idea what's going to happen.
No.
So,
Yeah. So that is it for the breakdown. We have a really cool trooper of the week,
we do.
Skeleton Crew related. So we'll just show you that now.
Cannot find it.
Basically, to give you the lowdown of it, it is a cosplayer
That's dressed like KB.
and it's so cool.
Here we go. She's called Mom X Official. And this is her KB cosplay. Very
I
cool.
love how
And
some
this
of
is-
these cosplayers don't take long to do a cosplay like that. Like, do you remember when?
Oh, hold on. I think that might have been someone different.
Oh, drama.
No, I think it was the photographer. So I think it is
Oh.
her. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's amazing for me how some of these cosplayers don't take long at all.
Mhm.
I remember. Do you remember? We had an episode of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Where we were introduced to Enoch.
Yeah.
Literally, on our next episode, we were talking about some guy who had started a cosplay on Enoch. They weren't finished, but you could see they were already like working on it, and they were like have nearly done.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys are so quick. Why?
I
But
mean, hats off to you guys.
yes,
And that is the first Skeleton Crew cosplay I've seen yet.
true.
So who knows? Maybe there's more to come.
Maybe there's a Neil.
Yes.
Get a Neil on. That would be cool. Get a Neil
Aw.
cosplay on.
We do love Neil.
We
It's
do.
very cool.
We have a meme of the week.
We do.
Again, Christmas related, to a degree.
So you have one of those Drake memes where he's like, no, and then he's like, yeah, that's the one. So it's Santa going, ho, 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 and he's like, no, and then you got Jabba going, ho, 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 and he's like, yeah, that's the one.
That's a Star Wars. That's the perfect ho 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 for
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yep.
Oh, oh, oh.
Also, being that we have a Jabba meme up here, it's reminding me. Someone pointed out there's a scene. It's either in this episode or the previous Skeleton Crew episode. There's like a guy that's getting a tattoo.
Episode 2.
It was episode 2. We didn't realize this.
There's a guy getting an arm tattoo.
But it's the tattoo of like the Hutt clan.
He's getting the Hutt Cartel logo.
Yeah.
Like clan symbol tattooed. Because originally on one of the breakdown videos I watched, one of the guys said it was the Pike Syndicate, but it's not.
It's
The Hutts.
But I learned something new because I didn't realize that Jabba the Hutt had this tattoo on his arm. So that's something to look out for if you're watching Return of the Jedi. Jabba the Hutt has a tattoo of the Hutt clan
Wow.
symbol.
Fair
So
play.
I didn't know that. But yeah.
I didn't know
You
that.
find out something new every day.
You do.
And we hope you guys learned something new
Yes.
from our podcast.
And I hope you guys as well have enjoyed the episode. We know it's a little bit later and all that, but yeah, we've been trying to get everything sorted for
For
this.
Christmas. And we've been so busy with our schedules.
Yes, literally like next week. I think me and you are only around on like Thursday.
I know. It's great.
So great.
Well, we'll let you know if there will be an episode.
There will be an episode next week. It's Skeleton Crew, and you guys want to know what's happening, and if we see some good old.
The week after, because it is Christmas, it's bound to be on a different day because we are busy around.
We're going to
Christmas.
probably do it on the 29th, isn't it?
Yes, possibly the Sunday after Christmas. So that one might be a bit of a longer episode because we'll be talking about like Christmas presents that we got that are Star Wars related, but also be breaking down a Christmas Skeleton Crew episode.
Can't wait. It'll be good.
So I wonder
It'll be good.
what it will be going down on Christmas week in the Skeleton Crew.
Hondo and Aka.
I'm
Calling it
actually-
now. Christmas present, Hondo and
That'd
Aka.
be cool.
Anyway, guys, we hope you've enjoyed today's episode.
Yes.
We will see you
Next
on
week.
the next week.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, may the force be with you guys. Have a good rest of your week. We'll see you very soon.
We'll see you next one.